popular.
Which one's Carrie Weaver? I don't know what the idea of that little charade was on the telephone, lady, but I don't take the threats.
How about propositions, then? I have some information that will give you, Becky Hewitt, free and clear. No strings to Kingsley. None whatsoever.
Yeah? What?
I thought so. She and my son are not legally married. Now, perhaps if we put our heads together, we could come up with an idea to convince them what a blessing that is.
Just let me finish this paperwork and I'll get your personal flex Cavaleris and you're free to go.
Morning, Jason.
Tom.
Thanks for putting up my bail. That was really good of you.
I'm a man of my word. Now I expect you to be.
You can count on it.
Good.
Listen, I guess all the guys down at the site are sort of talking about this, huh?
Nah, not as much as you'd think.
Yeah, right.
Pretty good reason for not doing it again, though, wouldn't you say?
Maybe. Listen, yesterday in the cell, the way I acted, I'm really not like that. You know, I'm really not. Why don't we just keep that between ourselves, okay?
Why, sure. But you said some pretty important things yesterday and expressed a real desire to change. I hope you still feel that way.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Good.
Yeah.
And let me make a couple of things clear. I helped you because I think you're a good man and a good foreman. Too good to be written off over one incident. Now, I believed what you said yesterday, and I'm looking forward to seeing some outward evidence of it.
Yeah.
And another thing, Dom, I think it's obvious that you have a problem handling alcohol, so I'm laying down one condition for taking you back. Personally, I'd like to see you get some professional help, but I can't force you to do that. But understand this, if you start drinking again, you're all through at Prescott Development.
It really must be something.
What?
Whatever it is you want me to do.
Now, what makes you think I want you to do something? Huh?
Brother dear, you have just smiled at me, asked me how I'm doing, and paid me a compliment. If you had done that on 3 separate days, I would be suspicious. But in the matter of a minute, it's downright convicting.
Okay, but now that you mention it, there is something.
No.
Oh, come on, Marianne, you don't even know what I was going to ask you.
Oh, yes, I do. The girls' names may change, but the situation always remains the same.
No, that isn't what I wanted to ask you.
Well, wanting ain't getting.
Especially in your concern.
What was that?
Nothing. But come on, at least listen to me.
Okay, I will listen.
Great. Well, it's that new clinic that I'm working on. You know, it's, I'm stuck. I really don't know what to do.
I didn't think there was anything you couldn't do, Gil.
Well, no, you haven't seen this place. It's like trying to redesign a shoebox.
Why did you take it on?
I didn't.
As if I didn't know.
Did you knock it off with that Lori Martin stuff?
Have you?
It doesn't have anything to do with it. Dad is the one who offered. You know, we haven't taken a job this small in over 5 years.
Well, I think it was nice of Dad to help Ben out.
Well, if he wanted to help him out, I wish he would have done it himself, you know, instead of dropping it on my lap.
Yeah, now you want to drop it in mine.
Not exactly.
Right.
Good.
Why me?
Well, I respect your work, Marianne. Really?
Especially when it makes your work look so much better.
Well, if you want, we can make it your project. I won't mind.
I'm sure you wouldn't. I don't suppose you just happen to have the blueprints handy.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Surprise.
Now, we're not talking about a very big space here. As a matter of fact, it used to be a storage room. Hey, you'll love it. You know, it'd be nice and easy.
Oh, so easy you can't handle it.
Well, I didn't say that. Now, okay, take this wall. Okay, it's just a firewall. You can tear that out if you want. Or this window. And that's kind of interesting. You know? Yeah, I'm sure you like it.
Wait a minute. This sounds like the project already is mine.
Well, you are interested, aren't you? Huh?
Well, interested, but not biting.
Not yet. I mean, the floors are solid oak. And can you believe that? And like this corner, you could just, make that so, just make it real nice. You know, come on, Marianne, please.
Vince, wasn't aware we had a meeting today.
Apparently there's a lot you're not aware of.
Really?
Really?
Care to enlighten me?
Oh, I'd love to. There, you're enlightened.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't come in here.
Where is Carrie?
Carrie who?
Where is Carrie?
I don't know. To King's Arms?
Try New York City.
Well, what makes you think so?
Phone call from a friend a half hour ago. Strike one, Harold. Now let's try again. Why did she hire you?
Vince, you know that's a privileged lawyer.
You're gonna feel privileged to even be alive if you don't start talking to me. Why did she hire you?
It was just some financial matters you had to...
You think I'm playing some kind of game here? Let me assure you, I'm not. Now, she hired you to break up my son's marriage, didn't she? Didn't she?
I don't know. She just wanted some information. I don't know what you wanted to do with it.
Strike two, Harold. Let me tell you a little story. I had a lawyer work for me once. Until I caught him skimming off the top. Today, he's shoveling manure for a living. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Good. Now, you remember what happens after 3 strikes, and you think very carefully about your next answer. What information have you dug up?
Your daughter-in-law's behavior in the past has been clean. Same in New York.
Naturally.
Can't say so much for your son.
Did she ask you to investigate him, too?
No. I like to be thorough.
What else? What else?
I discovered that the Justice of the Peace, who married your son and this girl, didn't have a legal commission at the time of the ceremony.
They're not legally married?
No.
Does Carrie know about this?
Yes.
For how long?
Since yesterday.
Listen to me. The only thing I hold near and dear is my family, and if I find that any of them are hurt through this, I'm gonna hold you responsible.
In the sound.
I take 5, everybody.
We haven't even started yet.
Oh, yes, we have, Angel.
Oh, good news or bad news?
Both.
Well, I tell you what. Tell me the bad news first, so the good news will. No. Go ahead. Tell me the good news first, Dave.
Okay. Good news, part 1. Ever hear of an album titled "I Feel Love"?
Yeah, it's a new one by Becky Hewitt, isn't it?
The same?
She's a nice kid. I don't think you'd want to hurt her feelings.
I don't think this will. It just popped onto the charts at number 38. Becky, that's the good news.
David, I think they better sit down, okay?
What's wrong?
Are you sure? Are you sure about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, boy. Suddenly it's just all real.
Did you ever doubt me?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
No, I mean, the studio and the record's real and everything, but to have a record on the charts, David, I mean, it's what we wanted. We got it.
Yeah. Good news, part 2.
What?
You know that 6-week cross-country concert tour that up to this point has just been in the planning stages?
Yeah.
It's now a reality.
You're kidding!
We certainly adjust quickly, don't we?
Well, what's to adjust to? I mean, a record on the charts and now this tour? David, how many cities are we going to do? Do you know who's going to back me up? Because it's 2 times how much money we're going to have to put.
Slow down, girl. We covered all later in my office.
I knew it. I knew we could do this. But what's the bad news? I mean, is it that we have to wait for the record to go higher on the charts before we can go out on the tour?
No, it has nothing to do with the business, Angel.
Good. What is it then?
Angel, there are times in life when people and things don't always appear as they should.
David, stop with the philosophy and just tell me.
Well, it would be a lot easier if
Just
I
come
could...
on, come out and say it.
You and Russ aren't legally married.
That's ridiculous.
I'm afraid I have proof, Angel. The Justice of the Peace who married you, his commission had expired. I wouldn't lie to you about something like this.
David, that's crazy.
Well, it explains a lot of things. Bad news part 2. I have reason to believe Russ knew about it all along.
What?
I'm sorry, baby.
He knew and... Well, that does explain a few things. It also means that he's using me.
Hi. How long have you been here?
I don't know, an hour, maybe longer.
Praying?
Some, as if the Lord needs to be reminded how I feel about this.
Well, if we use that logic, he wouldn't need our prayers at all. We know that isn't true.
Good point.
Of course.
Do you think she knows we're here?
I don't know. I'm not going to say that she doesn't.
I thought doctors were supposed to know these things.
No. A hazard of the profession. Give someone a little knowledge in one area, it's amazing how quickly they think it carries over into other areas.
I think deep down she knows that we care. Maybe it sounds stupid, but I've been telling her that anyway.
Why not?
At least she knows that somebody does.
It may be hard to see, Laurie, but I think her father cares very much.
And I think that there's others who, if they knew, might care even more.
And we have no right to intercede because this is a family matter.
Ben, she's got a son and a husband. All right, an ex-husband. I know they'd want to know about this. I know they care what happens to
Right,
her.
and it's up to Charles to tell them.
But he won't. He hates Paul.
Laurie, this is something we just shouldn't... We have no right to interfere in this matter.
Maybe not. But I have every right to remind Mr. Carpenter just what his responsibilities are.
Nancy,
In here.
are you just about ready to... What are you doing?
I'm just having a little peace and quiet.
But we have a 3 o'clock meeting with Dr. Greeley, and it's a very important one. Do you realize how soon we have to leave?
Well, come on, Charles, don't pressure me all the time.
Nancy, this is important. We're going to discuss Miriam's prognosis, and I need your support.
Well, how can I give you my support when the only thing I'm going to be wanting to do is run away?
Oh, those fears of yours are just childish. You've been to the hospital several times, and you were fine.
But you don't understand. Each time it gets harder for me just even to walk in the door.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Don't say that. It is most certainly not ridiculous. That's how I feel.
All right, I'm sorry. But you know, it's hard for me, too. I get tied in knots before I get out of the car, but I force myself to do it.
Well, you're just stronger than I am.
Well, let's be strong together. Nancy, if you will go with me, you can go home afterwards. I won't ask you to stay and see Miriam. I know how much that hurts you. Nancy, please. I don't think I can do this alone.
I will go with you, Charles.
Thank you.
That is, I will reconsider going with you if you reconsider moving back home.
That's not funny, Nancy.
I don't mean it to be funny, Charles. I'm perfectly serious. You know, I'm lonely and I'm scared and I need you. And you need me, you know. There's nothing more silly and childish than two people who could really benefit from being together who are just purposely staying apart. Now, no, I'm not going to go unless you decide to move back home.
Who do you think you're dealing with? Those juvenile tactics may have served you in grade school, but they are certainly out of place here. What you just said amounts to blackmail, and I will never give in to it. Never!
Nope, nothing improper here either. I'm afraid that's the last one, Sergeant. All the drugs on all the floors are accounted for. Whoever gave those Secanols to Miriam Mason did not get them from this hospital, that's for sure.
Well, that's a lot of work just to confirm what I already suspected. But I had to make sure. Thank you for your efforts.
I don't know how you're going to find out who did this.
Well, it's very possible we never will.
Yes, but police investigation is very advanced now, isn't it?
Mrs. Davidson, the perfect crime is committed every day. All you gotta do is look in our unsolved file and you'll see what I mean.
Must be very frustrating.
That is a polite way of putting it.
Well, what now?
Well, drop back 15 and punt, I guess. Honestly, I don't know. Every lead that we had has turned out to be a dead end. I could hazard a guess and say that it's either a paid professional or somebody so ridiculously amateur that they just blundered into the perfect plan by sheer accident. The fact that Mrs. Mason's still alive proves that it was an amateur. Beginner's luck.
Some luck.
I'm sorry, forgive me, I was just thinking out loud.
Sergeant, I think that there's something you should know. I'm sorry that I haven't said anything sooner. My sister said something to me the other day. I didn't know what to think of it then, and I don't know now.
What was it?
She said that she gave Miriam Mason those pills.
So?
So, she admitted it.
Mrs. Davidson, I have personally arrested 3 men who claim to have shot Abraham Lincoln.
But I have every reason to believe she wants Miriam out of the way.
Sure, to marry her father. But that's just a motive, Mrs. Davidson. If I thought hard enough, I could come up with one for you, too.
But, Sergeant, that doesn't...
Now, from my limited experience with your sister, I'd say that she'd do or say anything to give you grief, or to bait you, and judging from your reaction, she's been successful.
Well, I must say I'm surprised at your reaction. But I'm glad I said it.
Thank you for speaking up. Now, what we need is cold, hard evidence. And we haven't got any of that. The only way we're gonna find out who did this is to ask Mrs. Mason, if she lives.
Sorry I'm late. Oh, it's all right. Would you like some coffee before we get started? Can we dispense with the amenities? We're here to discuss my daughter's condition.
Very well. We doctors sometimes speak our own language, and that is often a disservice to those we're trying to help.
Which also includes a tendency to be long-winded. Now, can you get to the point?
The point is this, Mr. Carpenter. The barbiturates your daughter overdosed on have caused a depression of her central nervous system.
What does that mean?
Well, in simple terms, it means that the brain and the spinal cord are not functioning as they should.
Charles, that sounds serious.
I'm afraid it is. Now, because she's in a coma, that part of her brain which controls her involuntary reflexes is depressed. It's slowed down, dangerously so.
Poor Miriam.
I'm also concerned about her sporadic heartbeat. Occasionally, her heart beats very rapidly.
It sounds like she could die from that, Charles.
Nancy, now Miriam's going to be fine.
We're monitoring all this very closely, of course. So she's relatively safe for now.
But?
The longer her present condition continues, the worse the prognosis for the future.
Are you telling me that she may not come out of this coma?
Possibly. The next 48 hours are critical. If she doesn't come out of it by then, probably means that she has significant brain damage.
Oh, no.
Charles, what are we going to do?
If that's the case, I would recommend a transfer to an extended care facility.
You mean a nursing home?
Something along those lines. Yeah.
Charles, this is horrible.
Nancy, please. Dr. Grayley, surely there must be some way of preventing this from going any further. Now, does she have to have brain damage?
I know what you want to hear, Mr. Carpenter, but I just can't say it. I can't give you false hope.
Hey, Becky.
I'm glad you remembered the name.
Well, what are you doing here? What's going on? What are you
Well,
doing?
that's a good question. I really don't know if anything I have left here is worth coming back to get.
What are you moving out?
That's right.
What? Hey,
Russ,
wait a
look,
minute.
don't touch me, all right? I cannot believe that I was so stupid. I mean, I was a perfect little pawn for your little game, wasn't I?
What game?
Don't patronize me, Russ. I know all about it. You know, I kept going over and over in my mind on the plane coming down here the past couple of months. And I cannot believe that I trusted you for so long. I mean, I was so naive that I even believed that you and that prepubescent little nymphat had nothing going on.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, about
Get
what?
off it! You know as well as I do we're not legally married.